Welcome to Heaven on Earth, a sacred portal to visualizing, meditating, and co-creating our highest joys that usher in the golden age of Aquarius. I'm your host, Athena StarSeed.
This is Kim Hicks, your host today on the show Heaven on Earth. My lovely co-host Athena is off on a wonderful mission, and I wish her great blessings and Godspeed in the journey, because she's on a huge, wonderful mission which will be very helpful to us. This is a portal for visualizing, creating, and meditating on the potentials of all humanity to join and usher in a golden age of Aquarius. So here we go. I want to welcome everyone to the show today. We have a wonderful guest, and I'm really looking forward to hearing his luminous ideas to assist us in this great revolution of consciousness that we're bringing forth, calling for heaven on earth as best we can. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ's consciousness return to earth from the center where the will of God is known. Let purpose guide the little wills of men. And may it seal the door where evil dwells. And let light and power restore the plan of love to earth. And I'm your host today, Kim Hicks, while Athena StarSeed is off on a great and luminous mission. And hopefully we will get down to brass tacks. We have a great guest today calling in, Joseph Jacques. Hopefully he's here and with us now, and we can pick his wonderful heart-brain combination and see what he can offer to all of us humanity boosters and avatars of consciousness. Hello.
Hello, hello. This is Joseph Jacques. How are you doing, Tim?
I'm good. I'm very good. I'm speaking to you from the middle of the Pacific Ocean, so and it's a lovely day here. Where are you?
I didn't know they had all that technology on a little raft boat. You've got it going on, man. That's cool.
I just sit under coconut palms.
That's cool. I'm actually in Fairfax, California.
Fairfax. The center of hippie era magic, as I recall, in my short, sweet life and my participation in the great Haight-Ashbury burst bubble of consciousness that exploded. Great place.
That's the reason why I came. Actually, I'm from Ohio originally, and one of the reasons that propelled me to come to San Francisco was the fact that, when I was diving into all my authors, and I was in Ohio, and I was really having my own awakening for what I was going to bring to the planet. I was reading about all these authors were from the Bay Area, and I was inspired. I'm like, I've got to go to the Bay Area. So this area is just kind of teeming in consciousness, and there's a lot of overlapping narratives happening here about, how can we expand, how can we grow, how can we flip the script, right?
I think it's absolutely correct. My whole experience was I felt like I'd fell down a well of consciousness that creatively was expanding, and all of a sudden I was like thinking of all the possibilities for humanity. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the redwoods, maybe it was the bay, maybe it was the fog, but it was a huge upliftment for humanity. And that diaspora really spread the consciousness worldwide of a new generation with a new explanation. And now you're like one of the avatars on the road these days, bringing in a whole new activation consciousness. Tell us a little bit about your background, please.
Awesome. What I'm present to is you had mentioned is an expanding consciousness, and I actually in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, in 1968. I got to give a little backstory. My father started a scuba shop called Central Ohio School of Diving in 1968, and he taught me to scuba dive when I was 3 years old. And that particular action of my father teaching me to scuba dive at a very young age did many things to me. I became sentient at 4 and 5, just very aware of my own awareness. And I started lucid dream at 5. And I think it was because my dad, I remember when I was about 2 years old, 2 and 3, would come into my room, and we would sit at the end of the bed, and we would do breathing exercises, and he would explain to me what scuba diving was and how you just got to keep breathing in and out and be mindful of your breath. You don't have to breathe really quickly, just nice and slow. And I remember us, just like it was yesterday, sitting at the edge of the bed, doing these breathing exercises, and he was preparing me for learning how to scuba dive. And that...
And no doubt preparing you for life at the same time, because if you're going to be able to swim submerged and still maintain consciousness and composure, you can go to the wells of the dark side of humanity and come up with light.
Yeah, well, I like how you frame that, because, you know, for me, I was the metaphors always stayed with me. It comes from a quote: "Surfaces can be seen, but depths need to be explored." Right.
Wow.
So
that's beautiful. That's exquisite.
Right. For me, I was always diving underneath consciousness, diving underneath soul, diving underneath the heart, diving underneath the wound, to see what was there and to really just dive in and to explore.
Well,
so that metaphor has guided me.
Well, that's certainly what this show is all about. We're exploring the awesome potential of humanity as human beings to gather a collective consciousness that is really worth enacting on this planet. And you've always been one of my heroes, an avatar of this process, and your work has been so creative in the consciousness movement. I think I'd love to hear some of your stories about how you've what was your great innovation. One of them is your whole harmonic humanity approach. Tell me a little bit about how you got into the consciousness, how you made your transformation into an avatar, and what the potentials are, please.
Cool. Well, it all starts off with one of my first visions that I had was actually in prenatal, and that happened. I was working with little kids in a little place called in Seattle, a place called Little Gym, and one day the instructor comes in and says, "I need you to teach the infant class." Now, before that, I just worked with 2 and 3 year olds, and I was very good. It was teaching little kids gymnastics and motor movements and things like that. And when the instructor came in and said, "I need you to teach the infant class," I freaked out. I'm like, "Listen, I'm not going to do well with this age group, and I think that I'm going to fail terribly." And I write this in my book, Legends of Creation, and the instructor, he was one of my best friends, and he put his hand on my shoulder and said, "You know what? You are going to shine." And he actually let me have his little infant. It was like, I believe Ben was 7 months. And our class that I taught was 6-month to 16-month-year-old children, and I was working with all their moms. And he showed me some motor movements, and he just got me ready for the class and just kind of pumped me up a little bit. And I went out there, and on that brisk Seattle morning in the little gym, and I looked at all these beautiful little, what I call godlings, teaching me about what it means to be human. And when I looked into their eyes, I know this is going to sound crazy and metaphysical, but I saw the universe. I saw something that was wanting to emerge, a seed of potential that wanted to be actualized. And I was just inspired, and literally I taught that class. I taught the infant class for 6 years, and I was able to dive in, and they taught me so much. And I was able to notice something. I was able to notice that little Susie was able to retain more than little Bobby, and I didn't quite understand why. And what happened was that we had the same stimulus, the same motor movement, but there was something was happening that was different. And I started to ask the mothers, what did they do in utero? And Tim, it wasn't even 9 times out of 10. It was 10 out of 10 that those mothers that had spent significant time interacting with their child while the child was in the womb, they had greater motor abilities. They had greater spatial awareness. They were just more conscious. And so that threw me out what Joseph Campbell calls hearing the call of adventure. And for me to open up and separate myself into a new, separate myself from kind of an old way of knowing into an initiation to a new way of understanding of consciousness, and that was through the mother and the father's relationship with the young.
Yeah, this is certainly a great hero's journey you've been on. I've known you to be quite the avatar on a practical wave front, and that's what our show here is all about, is really how can we manifest heaven on earth. This is easily done, I do believe, when the storm clouds are gathering. There becomes this incredible opportunity for people like yourself to activate and nurture humanity in a great and luminous way. I want to know about your, how did you break into your consciousness of humanity and actually bringing it to focus in your, what is this process you use on the street? What is this social theater arrangement that you've created out of? I can't even explain it. Why don't you tell me all about your best thinking regarding helping people on the homeless and the people on the street to gain self-respect and guidance and connectivity?
Yeah, awesome. Well, my organization is called Harmonic Humanity. And that started in 2009 and founded by my best friend, A.J. Lovewins, who himself was homeless on the streets. I saw the need to really heal a wound that was the social wound on the social body, and that would be those that are in adversity on the streets, men, women, and children who are severely wounded. And need help. Our program is clear. We create jobs for the homeless by creating music compilation CDs as well as art. And
music compilation CDs. How does that work? How does music help these people?
Well, what we do is we create music compilation CDs. We have individuals, musicians donate music, and then we give the music. We give those CDs to the homeless to sell to make money for themselves. So it's an outright job for them. And since 2009 until 2017. The homeless, through our project, have raised about $200,000 for themselves, and so we also do outreach walks. So once a month.
I think we have to slide. Here comes a break. We from our sponsors. Let's get at that, and we'll pick it up right again shortly after that.
Okay.
Have you purchased a wine refrigerator or put a wine cellar in your home? Maybe you have a new wine rack. Great news, but what wines will you buy to stock your wine rack? Let me, Michael Horn, help. I'll find the wines for your wine cellar with your taste in mind. We'll determine what varietals, Cabernet, Pinot, Chardonnay, what types of wine, California, French, Italian, you like. We'll find you one-of-a-kind wines from all of our friends we interview daily on the What's Cooking Show and the What's Cooking on Wine Show. On a budget, we'll find you the best affordable wines. Want hard-to-get library wines? We can source those for you, too. And if you need cigars, let LA Rams sports legend and iconic actor Fred Dryer make your selections. Hey, we could even host a wine dinner for you or set up a sports cigar party with Fred. Call me, Michael Horn, at the What's Cookin' Today show. Call 818-818-6400. That's 818-818-6400. Let us find the dream wines of your lifetime.
When you really want Italian food, you have got to get to Columbo's. Columbo's Italian Steakhouse and Jazz Club, Colorado Boulevard, Eagle Rock. It's that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. What happened to summer? You turn around and it's gone. So what do? Solution. Either stop turning around or head on over to Columbo's and enjoy the most delicious steaks imaginable. Seafood that brings awe and wonderment to your happy little taste buds. Columbo family Italian recipes so special they're kept under lock and key at an undisclosed and secure location. Jazz every night and the world's greatest meatballs. Need I say more? Oh, but I will. Enjoy the summer and head on over to Columbo's Italian Steakhouse. Good Time Central. Columbo's, because it really is that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Columbo's. Mangia.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS? Newsflash, the president has changed the tax laws, and now you may be able to pay the IRS less. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, the tax doctor can help you pay the IRS as little as possible allowed by law. There are new tax laws for business owners, the self-employed, even W-2 workers. If you have a back tax problem or a few years of unfilled returns, new help to save you money is now here. Call right now to see how the new tax laws can help you. Plus, right now, we'll waive the consultation fee and give you a free tax savings report. Attention business owners, the self-employed, and W-2 workers. Make this free call to the tax doctor now and learn how to take advantage of the new tax laws that may help you pay the IRS less. 800-985-1610. 800-985-1610. 800-985-1610. That's 800-985-1610.
Supreme grace, let it rain down through me. Supreme grace, let it rain down through me. Supreme grace, let it rain down through me. Rain. Supreme grace, let it rain down through me. Supreme grace, let it rain down through me. Supreme grace, let it rain down through me. Rain.
Welcome back to Heaven on Earth. This is a show about conscious co-creation, that the upwelling of humanity can call forth a greater, more luminous society than we've ever had or dreamed of yet on this planet. And today we're in the studio and with Joseph Jacques, and he's a brilliant avatar who himself has figured out how to do some really wonderful things. My co-host today is off on a great mission, Athena StarSeed, the incredible, luminous, beautiful being that is guiding this endeavor. And here we are back in the studio speaking with Joseph Jacques about the potential for humanity. And Joseph is somebody who has actually gone into the streets and done something absolutely brilliant. Joseph, can you tell us a little bit about how you created this concept of what is it? What is this concept, this social...
Well, thanks, Kim, for holding space. And I want to let the audience know that this concept of harmonic humanity was founded by A.J. Lovewins, a former homeless man, my best friend, and he was himself homeless on the streets, addicted, pushing a shopping cart around as low as you can get in his, and Joseph Campbell calls that wasteland. A soul wandering, finding himself, going on adventures within that domain of wasteland, and he had a vision that he wanted to be the help that he wished that he had while he was on the streets. And
Wow.
he was, and I was always there for him. I had all these great transformational skills and all these things I've learned from Gene Houston and Arnold Mindell, and I had all this great stuff. But there's a great quote, Kim: "You cannot guard a gate of change; it must be unlocked from the inside."
Wow,
And
that's
so-
a beautiful quote. Can you
Right,
repeat
so-
that?
when he had his awakening, he gave me a call and he said, "Hey, I've been bringing musicians to soup kitchens, and I just see the consciousness that awakes within individuals that are just cold and tired and just want something to eat. And when I bring these conscious musicians to play on the stage, something happens. Something happens in them. They start to listen to the words that are coming from the stage. They start to get the beat. They start to awaken within themselves that there might be another future, another way of being." And so he came up with the concept of Harmonic Humanity, and we founded that organization together collectively because we knew the power of music and we knew the power of love. And when you bring harmony to humanity, when you look at what the context of that is, and you practice that, that's where it's all at, man. It's going from a philosophy to an experience. And so,
well, you brought it right to the street, and I think do we have a cue on the video clip, the short video clip that we can play here, showing what Joseph's up to and what he has created in this process? Do we have any? Can we cue this? I'm hoping.
Is there someone on the technical end that is going to do that?
Yeah, I was hoping. I'm not sure exactly how that works. I'm new to hosting this. My lovely host and favorite wonderful avatar, Athena StarSeed, is off on a great mission today, and so I'm left handling the ropes, and I'm not too familiar with them yet, but I'm delighted to be talking to you because our whole process is all about consciously creating a heaven on earth. And we can do this as humanity. We can't do this as an endeavor of political and economic need. We have to do this for the pure soul purposes of humanity, and that's what you're about. Tell me how you got into that area of conscious activation. You actually figured out how to do something brilliant on the street, which is this wonderful process, basically, of having a collection of CDs that homeless people can sell and gain a modest amount of living from, and do have a purposeful intention to it to help enlighten humanity. Tell me about that. Oh, we're going to break. We have to go to break. We'll pick it up on the other side. Thank you.
Trying to sell your old car? Instead, donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind. Pickup is free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats, whether they run or not. Call right now and receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to over 50 locations. Call 1-800-785-9618. Donate your car today. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Come to Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurante to see memorabilia of movie stars and theatrical magic right in downtown Fullerton, California. The Art of the Great Masters in an Italian town square complete with storefronts of old, Italian butchers and cheesemongers, fruit and wine vendors, seamstresses showing their wares, the romance of Romeo and Juliet. Find our mystical Room of the Moon, and don't forget King Kong, Dracula, Frankenstein, and who knows what awaits you in the wine cellar. Enjoy the great food. We hand stuff our pastas, roll each and every tortellini, bake our own bread, and make all of our sauces fresh from our private stock of Sicilian family recipes. Pasta to seafood, chicken to award-winning pizzas, tiramisu flown in from Rome. If you can't find something on our menu to tempt you, you don't like Italian food. Try our Sunday brunch, all you can eat, just $21.95. And Angelo's and Vinci's has been named the best Italian restaurant in Orange County 2 years in a row, and our owner has been named Restaurateur of the Year. Angelo's and Vinci's, Fullerton, California, 714-879-4022 or angelosandvinci's.com.
Do you want to fly somewhere, anywhere in the world? Smart travelers call myflightsearch.com for the best deals on flight tickets. Going to Manila, Bangkok, London, how about Singapore? Call myflightsearch.com for the lowest flight tickets available. What about a local vacation? Let's say you want to fly to Vegas, Orlando, Miami, Los Angeles, or Denver. Pick up the phone and call myflightsearch.com right now. We have exclusive deals that you can't find anywhere else. The only way you can get these low airline prices is by calling us. We have so many low prices available, we can't possibly tell them to you right here and now. If you're flying somewhere anytime in the next 6 months and you want the lowest airline ticket prices anywhere, you owe it to yourself to save a ton of money. So pick up your cell phone and call myflightsearch.com right now.
Call 800-445-3166. 800-445-3166. That's 800-445-3166. Call now. 800-445-3166.
Still got those annoying critters? I'm talking bees and fleas, spiders, ants, roaches, bed bugs, and those disgusting rodents. Have you made that call to Dewey Pest Control yet? What's holding you back? Get rid of them, and I mean right now. When the heat brings them out, it's time to call Dewey, because Dewey knocks them down and keeps them out. Dewey's an 89-year Heritage California family business with 32 offices statewide. Think you got those 24/7 wood-munching termites chewing up your house? Call Dewey right now for their free inspection. And all this month, get $89 off with a regular maintenance program. Call 800-209-0900. That's 800-209-0900. Just one call to Dewey does it all. 800-209-0900. Or get your free inspection online at DeweyRadio.com. That's Dewey, D-E-W-E-Y, DeweyRadio.com.
Destination, South Point. 11 great restaurants, bingo, bowling, movies, race books, sports books, spa, live entertainment, oversized rooms, and the rates unbeatable. The South Point Las Vegas. Book now. Online at southpointcasino.com or call 866-791-7626. southpointcasino.com or call 866-791-7626. At the South Point Las Vegas, you're always a winner.
Hello, this is Kim Hicks, and welcome back to our show. This is Heaven on Earth, and I'm hosting today because our lovely hostess is on a great mission and out in the world creating change and bringing our avatar consciousness forward, as she always does, the lovely Athena StarSeed. And I'm in the studio today and speaking on the phone with Joseph Jacques, and he, too, is another avatar of conscious transformation on this planet. And this is a time of upwelling for all humanity where we can take the reins of creative endeavor into the future on a human basis. This is above and beyond the calls of governments and institutions, and this is about Earth and humanity in an upwelling of consciousness, ready to take the reins. And our guest today is Joseph Jacques, and he's a brilliant avatar in his own way and has created something that I find absolutely fascinating. Joseph, how did you get into this wonderful idea of bringing musicians together with the homeless in such a way to benefit all? How did you do that? It's a brilliant concept and a very practical innovation.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Well, obviously it's a group effort. The name of the organization is Harmonic Humanity, and you can check us out at harmonichumanity.org. There's two beautiful videos on our front page featuring Jason Mraz, Michael Franti, Maroon 5, and Sarah McLachlan, who will be on the next album, which is entitled Hero. And that, along with other great musicians that are going to be a part of that.
What's the model? How does this work? How is this helping humanity?
Well, the project itself is simple. We create these music compilation CDs, and then we give them to the homeless to sell on the streets to make money for themselves. They are instructed to come back and save $1. And come back and buy more CDs. So it is a small micro business model, and our goal is to create sustainable models, revenue models all over the United States, where homelessness is most devastated, dropping off 10,000 Harmonic Humanity CDs in each city to churches and nonprofits to help those.
It's fascinating. It's a micro business model. I intuitively understand that micro business is really the business of the planet because it's human business. It's not about mega business. It's not about exploitation and extracting wealth. It's about servicing humanity at a human level, keeping people fed and sheltered and having right livelihood, isn't it?
Yeah, this is what we call the power of an emerging global context, right?
Tell me about that. That sounds great.
It's about, not only new economic models, but transforming all of it, looking at what doesn't work in the story and looking at what does, and getting really clear about our transformation as a humanity, going from one way of perceiving to another way of perceiving is what the shift is really all about. And that's what Joseph Campbell called the seat of the soul. He said where the inner self meets the outer world is what he called the seat of the soul. And he said that was always the function of the artist, Kim, to bring those two worlds together.
Go.
Yeah. So to bring those two worlds together is what Joseph talked about, and that is what he called the seat of the soul. And he said that was always the function of the artist, right? So the artist goes in and reflects back to many variations of the story that the audience themselves are playing out in their own lives. That's what theater does. Theater does that, reflects back.
Theater is yes. How did you arrive at this model? What is the model exactly? You have well-known stars who are committed to consciousness, and they give you some soundtracks that you put together. Tell me the actual nuts and bolts of this so we can have our audience be inspired by, hey, here's somebody coming up with a very practical idea of what to do.
And again, this is in essence to empower the individual and say that you're worth it. You have the ability to go out and sell this world-class art on the streets and to make money for yourself. So that's the whole model, is where they're empowered to with their own economic responsibility. And if they sell, for instance, if they can sell 2 or 3 CDs an hour, that's $27 an hour in your pocket. They can sell 3 an hour. That's pretty awesome. I mean, nobody's doing that on the streets. We want to mirror back to community, even big business, how you go about helping people. And our project is 100% grassroots, and so I'm very excited to continue our mission. It's a lot of fun.
It's absolutely thrilling. My guest today is Joseph Jacques, and he's a social innovator and a deep-hearted consciousness avatar. And he's got a solution, and it's helping people on the streets everywhere. This is a great journey we're all on together, is how we can share this sort of thing. So tell me more, Joseph, please.
Well, and again, we get to do this together. We're planning, we've done great work from 2009 to 2017, and so from 2017 till now, I've been kind of in the lab, getting ready for the next iteration of our organization, launching now throughout 2019. So I'm raising awareness, and I'm raising money to do what we're going to do, and that is very simply get on a tour bus, go to 10 cities where homelessness is most devastated, literally spend 4 days in each city, and when we're there, connect with the top local advocacy groups in homelessness as well, as drop off 10,000 Harmonic Humanity CDs to the homeless for them.
I love your model. I just think it's fantastic. A traveling road show with some of the high quality caliber artists like Michael Franti and Sarah McLaughlin producing those CDs. I think that's a beautiful model. So that's your next stage concept, huh? There's a vision. Woo.
You know what's fun is that those musicians will not be on tour with us. We'll be touring, and we'll be, obviously the homeless will be selling the CDs with their music on there. Now, eventually, hopefully, somewhere down the road, we can gain enough momentum as an organization where we can put on a major humanitarian rock concert for the homeless, and then invite Jason Mraz and Michael Franti and Maroon 5 and Sarah McLaughlin into the wonderful stage that we have set, and then they would feel comfortable to play a role in their role as avatars and musicians to raise money and awareness to end homelessness, or at least to bring inclusive solutions to the community like they're doing to us.
I'm very thrilled that such high-caliber artists are making this contribution. Yes, and it's not about them performing. It's about the interaction of the social envelope that happens in the inner cities, et cetera, where they need the help and a collective way to pull ourselves out socially into the higher levels of conscious creation.
And the thing, too, Tim, is people say, well, they're going to use the money to buy drugs and alcohol. And what we've discovered through Harmonic Humanity, being on the streets and doing this, is that those that have the fortitude to sit in front of somebody and actually sell them something and talk about what Harmonic Humanity is and does, they're not high, they're not drunk, they wouldn't have the fortitude to stand in front of somebody who's to be high and drunk and try to interact. We are very much inspired by an individual who can have the social and psychological bandwidth to talk to somebody and to share them a story of a harmonic humanity and what it's all about. If they can do that, there's a lot of self-esteem building in there. There's a lot of team building in that. There's a lot going on behind the scenes when the individual who is facing adversity on the street interacts with the public and the public interacts with them. That's a huge boost.
This is quite a model. You've really invented something that I think is a brilliant solution, social solution to social consciousness problems. We need to transcend the current culture with a culture of social consciousness that is much higher than the commercial world, which has warped our entire view of reality so much so that we serve it and it does not serve us. And I think that this upwelling of humanity that you are very, very involved in is going to be the door opener for a way for microeconomics to support human beings at the street level. I think this is great stuff, Joseph. You're really on to something.
Well, thank you, brother. And we've got to practice it, right? Harmonic humanity, it needs to be practiced. And if you don't practice what it means to play the role of harmonic humanity, then it forever remains entombed in unbelief. You've got to exercise the muscle of courage, right, for it to grow. So that's the whole concept, is to plant the seed for this type of social change strategy that's very clear about parentheses that are around what it means to be a harmonic humanity. And we were talking about some of the conflict that happens inside, and that we are so polarized and kind of in this dualism of perception, and that is really causing a lot of it's causing a lot of turmoil. This is what James O.D. talks about in his book Cultivating Peace, when he gets very clear about the role of the social healer. He says the role of the social healer is to transcend dysfunctional polarities that keep repetitive wounding in place.
To transcend polarities, social polarities that keep what?
He said to transcend dysfunctional polarities that keep repetitive wounding in place.
Ah, that sounds great. So this is transformational consciousness. My guest today is Joseph Jacques. I consider him a brilliant avatar who has actually figured out how to do something wonderful on the street. And that is, he's developed these CDs, which are distributed by the homeless people and sold, and it gives them a right livelihood and an interface with socially conscious people everywhere who hear this. And it's a beautiful model for conscious transformation from the inside out at the bottom level of society. I love it. I really think what you've done is very intelligent. And you've got a lot of other beautiful ideas up your sleeve, too. Tell me more.
Well, when we talk about when we talk about the wound, Jung said genius hides behind the wound. I don't know if you ever heard that from Jung.
No,
before.
I've never heard. Genius hides behind the wound. Give me an interpretation of that.
Well,
please give us.
And my work starts. My beginning of my work, where I started in the beginning of this conversation, starts in prenatal. So now
yes.
I've worked working with the homeless for the last 10 years. I have seen the cause and effect. The cause happening within the womb. It happens actually with the two parents before conception. The two parents obviously have a love and affinity for one another. They come together, they make love, and they have a child, and that child is a product of their wound and their gifts. Right? So,
yes.
and that's, so what I've been doing is I'm working on the cause as well as addressing the effect. So the cause is really the prenatal trauma that happens within the womb that's never resolved, never dissolved, and that depression, oppression never turns into expression. And then what happens is those individuals who never had a home in the womb are now not having a home at all and homeless. That's where I'm going with this philosophy.
Wow, that is incredibly well stated. This is a social conscious transformation time, of course, and we all understand it, but you've stepped into some wonderful role-playing, my friend, and developing actual practical manifestations of this. And I know you've got some great mentors in your life, and would love to hear a little bit more about that. But I must say that relative to our show, this is you are a brilliant innovator, and you're just the kind of person we're very interested in seeing develop ideas and spontaneously combust with a creative program to actually help humanity. I think we're all in this game. My guest today is Joseph Jacques, and he's a brilliant innovator on the social wavefronts. Quite a consciousness avatar. I'm very proud. Good.
Thank you, brother. Well, we all get to do this together. We're all moving forward in this direction of awareness, and we get to practice it. That was the function of social theater, is that Jean Houston says social theater today, she said that community today requires a social theater that tells a new story of a world in transition. And so the idea is to host social theaters all over the United States and to go into cities, goes into small towns, and to reflect back to humanity, ways of being, what transformation looks like, what initiation looks like. So we have a language that you and I speak, and a lot of the audience members, kind of the choir, already speaking this higher level of awareness, conscious language that we've been conditioned and taught ourselves because we wanted to not only evolve into that, but evolve into the language of that.
Well,
right?
Welcome to this show, because that's, of course, what we're all about. This is the path forward, I believe, for the ways of being on this planet are to make it a human endeavor that transcends the politics of corruptions, etc. It sounds like we're getting ready to go to break. I will pick it up again on the break, and my guest is Joseph Jacques, a brilliant avatar. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Lorraine, do you realize that your mother, my mother-in-law, Chef Maria, has been serving Las Vegas since 1949?
Yes, I do, Dennis. That's when she first met Howard Hughes, who fell in love with her cooking.
And in 1955, she opened her first restaurant on Fremont Street.
Yes, dear. And another great customer was Liberace.
Wow. Then in 1962, while Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack were causing global excitement on the Las Vegas Strip, your family opened their second restaurant.
And in 1972, Elvis Presley began electrifying Las Vegas audiences and eating in our restaurant.
You know, Lorraine, this is quite a town. There's only one Las Vegas.
And there's only one Bootlegger Italian Bistro.
Folks, when you're in Las Vegas, come visit us. We'll make you feel like you're part of our family.
The Bootlegger Italian Bistro, conveniently located at 7700 Las Vegas Boulevard, South Strip. Visit our website at www.bootleggerlasvegas.com.
Do you want to fly somewhere, anywhere in the world? Smart travelers call myflightsearch.com for the best deals on flight tickets. Going to Manila, Bangkok, London, how about Singapore? Call myflightsearch.com for the lowest flight tickets available. What about a local vacation? Let's say you want to fly to Vegas, Orlando, Miami, Los Angeles, or Denver. Pick up the phone and call myflightsearch.com right now. We have exclusive deals that you can't find anywhere else. The only way you can get these low airline prices is by calling us. We have so many low prices available, we can't possibly tell them to you right here and now. If you're flying somewhere anytime in the next 6 months and you want the lowest airline ticket prices anywhere, you owe it to yourself to save a ton of money. So pick up your cell phone and call myflightsearch.com right now.
Call 800-445-3166. 800-445-3166. That's 800-445-3166. Call now. 800-445-3166.
Hi, everyone. This is Fred Dreyer. You listen to me every week on the Sports Lounge. Well, I'm here to tell you my good friend and co-host, Michael Horn, is making his wine knowledge and his incredible industry contacts available to you. Mike will educate you in the world of wines. He will stock your wine cellar, wine refrigerator, or wine rack with one-of-a-kind wines. Also, as a lover of a great glass of port, I will share with you my experiences in finding the cigars that fit your palate. I will help you stock your humidor with great cigars that reflect your growing taste and the very best smokes for your budget. Mike and I can set up a once-in-a-lifetime wine dinner, and I can host a sports cigar party. Call us today at 818-818-6400. That's 818-818-6400. Let us find the dream wines and cigars of your lifetime.
Supreme grace, light rain down through me. Supreme grace, light rain down through me. Supreme grace, light rain down through me. Rain. Supreme grace, light rain down through me. Supreme grace, light rain down through me. Supreme grace, light rain down through me. Rain.
Welcome back to our show. This is the show called Heaven on Earth. And my lovely co-star, who is off on a mission of the goddess today, is preoccupied with a wonderful journey and a great potential. And I'm left holding the reins in the studio. And my guest is Joseph Jacques, who is a brilliant social innovator and an avatar on the streets of action. And he's a wonderful model for who and what we need to do socially and culturally to help transform all our brothers and sisters and carry us all together to a nirvana yet undreamed of. And Joseph, it's a pleasure to have you on board. We're just going to have to wrap up fairly quickly, and I want to get a sort of nutshell view of how your processing is working, and give us a vision of your highest order of what's potential for our humanity.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you for the show. Thank you to Athena StarSeed and you, Kim Hicks, for hosting Heaven on Earth. What a beautiful platform it is. And thank you for that. We need multiple stages and emerging contexts to language this transformational movement in consciousness. And yes, I have a small part to play. I'm working with the homeless. We're creating jobs for the homeless. I've written a book called The Hero's Game Book. for the homeless, which is transformational education. Our program is 3 pillars: employment, education, and counseling for the homeless. We're getting ready to step into a very large 2019 tour, going to 10 cities where homelessness is most devastated, dropping off 10,000 Harmonic Humanity music CDs featuring Jason Mraz, Michael Franti, Maroon 5, and Sarah McLachlan, and other fantastic artists. And so we'd love your support. Go to harmonichumanity.org. Check out what we're doing. On the very front page of our website are 2 beautiful videos. And as we walk on the streets and as we go out into the streets and we make a difference, we're communicating to those that are most wounded and really try to find inclusive solutions to help them economically as well as psychosocially, to give them the tools they need to become a hero of their story and not a victim of it. So I'm in full support of that movement, and I appreciate everything you guys are doing. So thank you for the platform.
My guest is Joseph Jacques. He's a brilliant avatar on the street level, bringing a nurturing method of homeless people, getting some stability economically and a freedom to interface with people in a very wonderful way. He's a consciousness avatar, and he is doing the work. And that's what this show is all about, this show, Heaven on Earth. Our brilliant star of the show, Athena StarSeed, is off on a mission from the goddess today, and we wish her Godspeed in that journey. We've had a wonderful chat with you. You are a very interesting humanoid, my friend, and I'm very delighted to know you and realize what you're up to is really practical transformational change right here at the street level of humanity.
Well, thank you. I'm very grateful and honored to be able to be strong enough and have the beautiful will enough to go out there in any place and make a difference for humanity. I believe in us. Our capabilities are nothing short of genius, and as we work together, nothing's good. Reach.
Joseph, wonderful chatting with you. We look forward to another chat as soon as we can get to the next level of humanity. This is it for the show called Heaven on Earth. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. Athena StarSeed's on a mission from the goddess right now. We'll be back next week.
Enjoying all your favorite CRN programming is easier than ever. It's right on your TV, through your local cable provider, and on the web at crntalk.com. But when you're on the move, stuck in a plane, train, or in your car, catch up on all the shows you missed. Or listen live to your favorites. Download our CRN app from your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Just search for CRN Digital Talk Radio. Or search for your favorite CRN shows on apps like iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, AHA Radio, uTunes, and Nobex. Now you have access to all of our great shows anywhere in the world and the ability to be part of them by calling our toll-free studio line at 800-336-2225. For more information on where and how to listen, log on to crntalk.com and create your own listening experience today.